Hello, dividend executives. Welcome back. It is Friday, so you already know we are trading options. We're reviewing our plays from last week, and slowly but surely, we are pushing new all-time highs once again. It's been an absolutely crazy year. Wild to think that we just keep hitting new all-time highs each and every single week, but we just keep rinsing and repeating. It is working out so far. The market has not been selling off like people had anticipated. And so what are we doing? Well, we're just going to continue playing it until we see a different narrative. This week, we got some rate drops. We saw some nice bounces in a lot of crypto proxies, including MSTX, CleanSpark, Riot, Coin, a bunch of them. So what are we doing? Well, we're cashing in. And we're setting ourselves up for next week. We have some buying power available. I've already rolled into next week, so we're going to go over that. And then we'll go over the trades, how the account's looking, and how we're doing over 5% this month. And it's going to be a record-breaking month. If we can keep it up, we still have, 20 days or so into the month. So we still have another week of trading, potentially 2 weeks if we end up playing on Friday or we end up playing on the next Monday. But I'm thinking we probably have one more trade left in us for the month, which if we do it right should put us to a record-breaking month in the portfolio and push us, of course, to a new all-time high. So let's jump into it, full transparency. As always, let's take a look at what happened this week, what happened last week. You can see back on the 12th, everything expired worth this, right? The TSLL puts, the MSTX puts, the MSTU puts expired worth it. And so what did we do on Monday? We went back in on MSTX. We sold some puts at the 19.5 strike. We got 17 a contract and $170 for the 10 contracts that we made. Then this morning, what I ended up doing, well, you can see a little bit of chatter there in between the week. We tried to make a roll on the 17th. We tried to make a roll earlier today. I had to end up editing it a little bit. And then we also tried to get some MSTU puts out there, but we never got a fill. So those are what they are. But we did get a roll this morning, and that was on MSTX. I ended up rolling it up. Stock was down a little bit today, so I wanted to take advantage of a red day, especially if I could get a roll in, because you just never know what Monday brings. It could be a nice rally in Bitcoin over the weekend, which will bring a green MSTX, which probably means a little bit less when it comes to premium. So I ended up taking advantage of that. In the dividend account, in the IRA, I still have, 20 or so, 2025 puts left on MSTX that I'm just going to let all those expire worth this. If you're following those, then you already know what I'm talking about. But these ones we ended up rolling. So MSTX is down about 6% on the day, or $1.59. And so I wanted to take advantage of that. And we did that today. We got $190 worth of credit, but we also only had to pay 0.02 to close. A lot of the times, if you're not rolling, you have to pay the 0.05, which is the minimum to close in order to do that. Because I did the roll and I put a limit order in there at the 0.19, it forced a close. And you can see that here, right? So we paid 0.02 times 10 contracts, so $20 to close. We left a little bit of profit on the table there. But on the flip side, we got paid 21 on the 20 puts, which if we probably were to go at market there, they would have just paid the $20 if they were to fill there. So we got an extra buck there. So really, honestly, pretty excited about that. Decent credit. And I'm happy to, honestly, I'll probably take the shares if we get down to 20. It just depends on what the narrative looks like, what Bitcoin's at, if we're breaking down or breaking up. But for now, that is the trade for this week. $190 worth of premium, which is really, really good on a small account like this. And that's where we're sitting as of right now. If we jump into the account for the week, we are up $142 for the month, up $1,104 or 5.71%. And like I said, it's a 5% month because we've been selling cash secured puts. We're 100% cash in the account, and all of them have been expiring worthless. And so what that does, it just sends the account straight up into the right. 3 months up 13%, year to date up 52% or $7,005. 1 year up $10,899 or 114%. And then since we opened this account a little over 2.5 years ago, we are up 149%. Gosh, we're so close to 150%. If all things go right this week, we should be at 150% by, I'd say probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday. And we're up 12,251. So the small account is getting a little bit bigger, but you guys know I'm taking this account to $50,000. It's going to take me a couple of years to do it, but we just keep hitting the single base hits each and every single week. We focus on that 0.5% to 1%. Sometimes we go a little bit more, and then we just keep ripping the puts each and every single week. So buying power 687. If I see a massive sell off on MSTU, Or if I see it go under the $5 mark, I'll probably hit the 4-5 and maybe just try to get one of those contracts in there. It's really making me want to put a little bit more money in here so I could hit 2 contracts, but it is what it is. I'm trying to keep the account small, so we're just going to leave it there. Contributions at 1,320. And then these are the options on the table that we already went over. MSTX, again, down 6.21%. The pop I was talking about yesterday, it went all the way up to 26.75, which is really good. We ended up selling some calls yesterday, closed those out for 50% this morning, and we'll let the shares ride for now. So hopefully we can get a pop with Bitcoin. It's sitting around 115,000. So that's where we're at on MSTX. That's where we're at on the small account. These are all the plays we have going into next week. Probably only one more trade left here in the month of September, and that will be either on this next Friday or the following Monday, just depending on where things are, because MSTX is a 0.05 increment to close. If it was a 0.01, 100% we'd probably be closing on Friday, but it is what it is. So that's where we're sitting, $20,457. Crazy how close we are to $20,500. We're just absolutely killing it out of the park. And hope you guys are as well, especially if you've been following the journey and following any of the trades. Hopefully you are absolutely slaying it. So for this last week, we ended up at 0.08% return on our trade there with the close. And then this week we got paid $210 for the new contract. And that's 1.1% on our money. Where has our money been coming in from? MSTX has been the absolute money printer for me as of late. So we just keep ringing that bell until the cash register is empty, and then we will move on to greener pastures. But for now, $6,816 worth of options income so far in the month or in the year of 2025. We still have 3 months to go and a little bit of change. You can see we're sitting at 4 figures. What an absolutely monster month to be able to make $1,000 off of a $19,000 portfolio. Is absolutely phenomenal. If you can continue to stack that like we have been stacking it, you can see the balance. 11,700, 12,600. Then we had a little bit of struggle there with the tariff news. Now back down to up to 16, then 17, then 18, then 19. Now we're at 20,500. You see the goal. Slowly but surely, we just keep racking it up, 1,000 at a time, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, and that's how we're going to move towards this $22,000 new goal by the end of the year. Of course, we have to nail a bunch of trades and tell them, but we're continuing to snowball the options premium each and every single week into more and more contracts. You guys see it, right? We've made $1,000 worth of premium so far, and it's enabling us to trade even more. We're able to trade a bunch of contracts now at the 20 strike, whereas before we could only trade, at the 16, the 17, the 18 strike. So we're going to continue doing that. We're going to keep working towards it. We're 38 weeks into the year. We're averaging about $179 a week. Average capital in use throughout the first 9 months, 15,280, and we're averaging 1.17% a week. So not too bad. We're 865 above where we were at last year. We did 160 in September of last year. Just that's the things that when you guys are looking at your own portfolios that you want to look at. Compare the data. How are you doing this year versus last year? How are you doing this month versus last month? Are your options snowballing? Are you making too risky plays? Are you not taking enough risk on, right? You're going to be able to see it in the data, and you can definitely see it in mine. The goal this month was 469 with the $140 with the deposits. Obviously, we've doubled that, right? We're $555 over that, and we're sitting at about 20,450, which on our trajectory when we started this, that puts us all the way to March of 2026. So we're way ahead of the game. I didn't have us hitting this balance until March of 2026. And so what that means is we have a new path, right? Right now I have a 2.5% growth a month, which is my base case that I think, 2.5% is pretty much base case if we get into bear market territory. Puts us at, $500 a month. So we're still even doubling that. And given where we started in September, I can get us to probably, 22,207 base case by the start of January 2026. So we should be able to get there, and we're going to keep pushing. It's going to take roughly $122 a week right now. Next month, $126. The following month, $130 a week. And you can kind of see as the balance grows, we need a little bit more income each and every single week. But that's where we're looking, and things are looking really, really good. You guys just saw how much we made, 210 for this week. And then last week we did 150, so we're doing really good there. We're staying above the averages. And this is where the money's come in. 502 at the first of the month. That's when we did the hood swing. 163 last week, 360 this week, and that's because we made a trade on Monday and we made a trade on Friday. So unless we roll next Friday, we'll have a 0 for the 22nd to the 26th. But it's a 4-figure month. We're at $6,816 worth of annual income. We destroyed our potential balance goal. We destroyed our annual income goal. You can see all those are at over 100%. And so we're pushing. We're 59% of the way towards the new goal that we set. We have $1,550 left in order to get there. But you can see, just looking at the projections, we should be able to get there. Q1 through Q3, the average so far is 2,272. So if we continue our average, we should surpass the goal by a couple $100, which would put us closer to the $23,000 mark. Now, obviously, things can change. I can trade a little bit safer as we get towards the end of the year, stuff like that. But for now, that's where we're sitting at. We should end up around probably 8,500, anywhere between 8,500 to 9,500 in total options income for the year. And then we'll start locking and loading for 2026 and looking at some projections, set some goals there. And we're going to hold ourselves accountable like we do each and every single week. Hopefully you guys are doing the same. So that's where we're sitting right now. Full transparency as always. Hopefully your accounts are absolutely smashing it like this portfolio is. Hopefully you're just going up and to the right and you continue to stack the premium. I appreciate everybody as always for watching the videos. I appreciate all the likes, all the comments, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Happy investing. We'll catch you next time.